All right, thanks, guys. We went 3-0 in our NFL picks yesterday. We're also 16-6-2 on the college football season on patreon.com/Brock page. You can find those two stats, those two records on that website where I do daily plays and content. That's patreon.com/Brock page. A link for that site is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and get into some NHL content here, beginning with the Ducks taking on the Bruins, and that's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Boston. The Bruins are minus 200, total 5.5, saw a 20-cent move toward Boston. They opened $1.80 up to 200, totals 5.5. 62% of the consensus are leaning Bruins, 57% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Ducks are plus 175 on the money line. Boston plus $1.50, laying the goal and a half. Anaheim's 4-1 straight up on the year, 8-2 in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Bruins. Their defense is allowing just 1.2 goals per contest on average. Now, Boston on the other side, they are scoring less than 2.5 goals per game on average themselves. They've also dropped 4 out of their last 5 home contests hosting the Ducks. Now, total-wise, Boston 3-2 to the under thus far in the year. Anaheim 5-0 to the under on the year, 3-0 to the under on the road. I'm going to lean Anaheim plus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, Panthers, Devils, 1 o'clock, New Jersey. The Devils are minus 110, total 6.5. 57% are leaning New Jersey, 55% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Panthers are minus 101 on the money line. Jersey plus 235, laying the goal and a half. Now, for being favored in this matchup here, Jersey hasn't won a game yet this year. Winless in 5 games, 0-3-2 thus far in the year. They've also dropped 12 out of their last 15 games, taking on a member of the Eastern Conference. Of course, that dates back to last season. So if you're into historical trends, that one is certainly not in your favor if you're a New Jersey backer. Now, the Devils are averaging just 1.8 goals per contest thus far in the year. Meanwhile, the Panthers on the other side, 7-2-1 in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Devils. When it comes to the total, Florida's 3-2 to the over on the year. Jersey 2-0 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Panthers minus 101 and the over 6.5 in that game. Next matchup, Blues, Islanders, 1 o'clock, New York, Long Island. The Blues are minus 125, total 5.5. Saw a 10-cent move towards St. Louis. They opened $1.15 up to $1.25, total 5.5. 62% on the Blues, 54% on the under. Islanders are plus 110. Blues are plus 225, laying the goal and a half. St. Louis is 3-1-1 on the year, 2-1 away from home. The Islanders on the other side, winners in just 2 out of their 5 games thus far in the year. Their defense has given up 12 goals in their last 3 games. When it comes to the number, the Islanders are 3-1 to the under at home. The Blues 3-2 to the under overall for the year. Give me the Blues minus $1.25 and the under 5.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you once again to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Monday's NHL action. Happy Monday to you. Columbus Day, I believe. I know that the kid doesn't have school today, and it's October, so I think it's Columbus Day, and we have early NHL action. So I'll tell you what, I'm very busy, and I should have probably double-checked that. But I think it's Columbus Day. If you guys can confirm that in the comments section below, that would be great. All right, before we go ahead and get into some more personal lines and personal leans, just got to remind you guys once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/Brock page, where we went 3-0 in the NFL yesterday. We also improved over the weekend to 16-6-2 on the college football season. Now, we do daily plays on that Patreon site. We have a bunch of different memberships and packages that you can subscribe to, beginning at just $1.99 per month. Now, my NFL players yesterday, they went 3-0. They went perfect yesterday. And that membership's just $11.99 per month. I swear, I'm telling you, they're too cheap. They really are. Exceptional value to go 3-0. Our college football package, unto which we are 16-6-2 on the year, is just $14.99 a month. That's not a day. That's not a week. That's a month. That's 30 days worth of plays, worth of service. So incredible value there. We also have plenty of free content there as well. We don't do free picks. The free picks are right here on YouTube. But you can see my current record across the board in all of my different memberships right there on the homepage. Just check me out, patreon.com/BrockPage. And to be honest with you, each and every day you're not subscribed to that channel, you're certainly costing yourself some very lucrative information. So once again, at least check it out. Take a look at it. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now we got to get into some more lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Minnesota Wild taking on the Senators. 1 o'clock, Ottawa. The Wild are minus 140, total 6.5. Saw a nickel move toward Minnesota, movement upward on the total. The Wild open $1.35 up to 140. Total open 6 up to 6.5. 51% are leaning Minnesota. 67% are leaning over. Ottawa's plus 120. Minnesota plus $1.80, laying the goal and a half. Minnesota's winless on the year. 0-4 straight up on the season. They're allowing 5.3 goals per contest. Meanwhile, the Senators on the other side, they actually beat Tampa Bay. They defeated the Lightning in their last game, 4-2. Not only winning outright, but covering that puck line in the process. Their offense is averaging 4 goals per contest in their last couple of games. And when it comes to the total, Ottawa is 80% to the over in their last 5, taking on the Central Division. Meanwhile, Minnesota 3-0-1 to the over thus far in the year, 2-0-1 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean Senators plus 120 and the over 6.5 in that game. Next matchup, Stars, Sabres, 3 o'clock, Buffalo. The Sabres are 115, total 5.5. Saw a nickel move toward Buffalo, no movement on the total. The Sabres open $1.10 up to minus 115, totals 5.5. 55% are leaning Buffalo, 71% shaded toward the over. Buffalo's 4-0-1 on the year. They're averaging over 4 goals per game. Meanwhile, Dallas on the other side, they're scoring just 2.1 goals per contest. Winners in just 1 out of 6 games overall for the year. 1-4-1 to be exact. Now, total-wise, Dallas is 4-2 to the under on the season. Buffalo 6-3 to the under in their last 9 head-to-head matchups with the Stars. I'm going to lean Sabres minus 115 and the under 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, Colorado taking on the Capitals. 5 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Washington. The Caps are 135, total at 6. Saw a nickel move toward Washington and moving downward on the total. The Caps open $1.30 up to 135. Total open 6.5 down to 6. 65% of the consensus are leaning Washington. 66% leaning toward the over. Right now, the Avalanche are plus 120 on the money line. Washington plus $1.95, laying the goal and a half. Colorado's 4-0 overall for the year. They're allowing just 2 goals per game. Meanwhile, the Caps on the other side, 3-1-2 on the year. Winless at home. They're 0-2 at home. And when it comes to the total, Washington's 4-2 to the under thus far in the season. 5-2 to the under in their last 7, taking on the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Avalanche 10-4 to the under in their last 14 on the road. I'm leaning toward another underdog in this one. Give me Colorado plus $1.20 and the over 6 goals in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Oilers Blackhawks, 8:30 Chicago. The Blackhawks are minus 135 at home, total 6.5. Saw a 25-cent move toward Chicago in the early wagering. The Blackhawks opened $1.10 up to 135, total 6.5. 68% are leaning Oilers, 75% shaded toward the over. Right now, Edmonton is plus 115 on the money line. Chicago plus $1.90, laying the goal and a half. Chicago's 0-2-1 on the year. They're allowing 4 goals per contest on average. Meanwhile, the Oilers are undefeated, 5-0 overall for the season. They beat the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, Kings, and Canucks thus far on the year. Now, total-wise, Edmonton 3-2 to the over, 2-1 to the over on the road. Meanwhile, Chicago 2-1 to the over themselves. I'm going to lean Edmonton plus $1.15 and the over 6.5 goals in that game. And we're going to go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. We have Edmonton plus 115 over 6.5. Colorado plus $1.20 over 6 goals. Buffalo minus $1.15 under 5.5. Blues minus 125 under 5.5. Ottawa plus 120 over 6.5. Florida minus 101 over 6.5. And last but certainly not least, we have Anaheim plus 1.5 in the under 5.5 goals in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our shout-outs brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Got to give a shout-out to Ken Truck, Rob Camacho, Tia Patrick, Mrs. Jones, Demetrius Milonis. Got to show some love to the Repo Man, Ken Cunningham, Steve Holzell. Shout out to MG Covers, who has a YouTube channel of his own. I actually just checked out some of his content this morning. It's a great channel, so check out MG Covers on YouTube. Got to give a shout out to Zach Learns, who made a comment in the comment section the other day. He said, "I'm just a 25-year-old male who lives in California and loves chicken and just trying to make some money." Got to respect it. Chicken's good, man. Can't beat it. Nothing better than some chicken. Shout out to Julian Garcia, Gio Lopez, Robbie Martin, last but certainly not least, Robbie Martin, who says, "Brock, you suck." All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went a perfect 3-0 in the NFL yesterday. We're also 16-6-2 in our college football package. There's also different tiers, memberships you can subscribe to, and you can access my current record for free right on the homepage at patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. But most importantly, I got to thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.